All right, everybody, what's up? This will be the first episode ever where we actually have a little bit of sponsorship going. So we're going to start off with first and foremost, Anheuser Designs. We appreciate you guys so much for the shirts. As always, if you guys want to get out or get at them for some shirts, any kind of custom apparel for your business, anything like that, check out their Facebook, Anheuser Designs. Anheuser Designs, and my man Trevor Murphy over there, he'll take care of you real good. So
Trevor,
shout out to those guys. That guy over there, we love you. Thank you for keeping us fresh.
heck yeah.
And with that,
hey everybody, what's up? It's Kyle and KZ.
More people get their voice out there, then I think they'll realize like we're all the same, really.
KZ decided, let's do it. Took the bait, so here we are.
Veteran Chat Project.
Where it's encouraged to not be okay all the time. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle
And KZ.
and we are the Veteran Chat Project, and we are coming at you hot, live, and juicy on this beautiful Monday morning, evening, night. It's Motivational Mondays, motherfuckers. Get up, be happy about it. You made it. You get to embark on another journey of another week towards that ever-loving weekend that everybody likes to use. So thank you guys, the two of you that are already watching. I appreciate it. Love you guys. So tonight we are going to cover a little bit of what we like to refer to in the business as adjusting fire. When things don't necessarily go the way you want them to go, the ability to kind of think on your toes, that kind of shit. In our situation, it's more like a when we have somebody disappear right before we do a show, and we have to do a show with about 20 minutes of preparation. But it's usually honestly when we do our best. So
That's the best, dude.
it really is, because we're like, okay, here we go. Like, pressure's on. Like, let's get after it. And here we are. So we figured it'd be just perfect to talk about that adjusting fire and having that mentality of being able to sort of conquer whatever the day throws at you with a positive attitude, because ultimately, if you don't, it will beat you. It'll absolutely beat you, and you can't be guaranteed how many days you have left, so you don't want to lose any of them. Because as we mentioned before, that time is super, super important for a lot of us. We know why. Unfortunately, loss really kind of drives in that nail. So yeah, adjusting fire. What do you think? Good topic, bad topic, way to start it?
Well, I think it's a great topic. Adjust fire. We do that stuff every day. I think we're taught we're taught a little bit better how to do it in the military. Not saying that we're better than civilians. I don't mean that at all. But
let's just say before we go on, like what would we call it for someone who doesn't understand what adjusting fire would mean, like right off the bat, in a civilian term, so to speak, right? Like just roll with the punches kind of thing, I guess you could say. So all right. Yeah. So rolling with the punches, aka adjusting fire. All right, moving forward.
Yeah. I think it's top hat.
Hey, yeah, that's you gotta wait for that. You don't get that. You got, that's when all else fails.
Oh yeah.
Then you expend all ammo. Yeah.
I definitely appreciate what the military, how the military taught me to adjust fire or roll with the punches. I think it's a great topic because our overall conversation that continues every episode with mental health is something you got to deal with every day. That's a good one too, Frank. Adapt to the circumstances. That's another.
What's up, Murdoch? Good to see you again, brother.
That's another good way to say it, adapting to the circumstances or adjusting fire. What was I saying?
How the military kind of drew it in.
Yeah, kind of give us great tools to adjust fire and learn to shoot as you're moving. So yeah, it's.
I just heard the running cadence in my head, dude. The shoot, moving, communicate, and then there's me in the back like. And then someone's like, "Yeah, dude, shoot and move."
Yeah,
Anyways,
it carries on great with the, like I said, with the conversations we've been having about mental health, because mental health on paper, or how to approach mental health on paper, looks very easy. Um, but then when you actually go and do it, I'm going to start today. I'm going to do this step by step. And you start with step one, and then 10 problems come out of step one. And you're like, oh
bam.
shit, what do I do now? And then you're like, you conquer those 10 problems. Okay, now I'm ready for step two. 20 problems come out before you finish step two. So yeah, I think it's a great topic to go over, adjusting
Yeah.
fire.
Because it can be super overwhelming. Like
Dude.
you just said, like the compounding problems that happen whenever something, whenever something kind of you plan your day based off. Because I don't know, as veterans, we kind of have a plan for the day. Like we go into every day kind of with a plan.
Yeah.
Kind of, right? And as life plans, as in life plans tend to not work out all the time, right? So I think as Rocky Balboa said, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, And one of like the greatest fucking motivational speeches out of all his movies
Yeah.
was when he was talking to his kid when he was in the retired one, Balboa or whatever.
Yeah.
But dude, it's just like the world is an ugly place, and it will beat you to your knees and keep you there.
Oh, for sure.
But you got to get up. You got to figure out how to do that, and it begins with, like I said, that positive attitude. Because me personally, it's something that I work on, and you said, it's super easy to sit here and say it.
Yeah.
Super easy to sit here down here, like talking on a podcast and shooting the shit with my buddy. It's super easy to talk about, but like this isn't like my day to day. My day to day is filled with these opportunities to be a better person, and it gets exhausting. But like when you really think about all day, like, I did that better than I could have yesterday, or like taking those mental notes like I talked about, or even writing down those automatic negative thoughts. And I've actually been trying to do that a little more, and like really kind of trying to like talk back to them in a positive way.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, let's just take tonight, for example, dude. I could have easily sat here and been like, man, fuck this. I don't want to do a show with this little bit of preparation, because all day I sat and I thought like how I'm gonna do the show. I had it lined up, and and then just something in my head is like, dude, like, why, bro? Like, why get mad about it? Just go ahead, do a show, because you and your boy, you love doing this shit. And then it just hit me. It was like, dude, adjusting fire. It's perfect. So,
and that's a very key point too. Like, for everybody out there, like positivity, like approaching those situations with positivity. I can't. I talked to someone recently who's hopefully going to be coming on soon. But just all negative talk. He's always been that way. He's been that way ever since I known him in like grade school.
I'm guilty of that most of the time
And
too.
it's
Sometimes,
just, yeah.
But
And
I'm
it's
also,
just like,
I consider myself a realist.
yeah, I mean, yeah. And I think there's a clear difference between being a realist and being negative. And it's just like, every time I talk to this dude, it's just like, hey, what's going on? Like, hey, he's like, oh, this sucks. This is going on. I can't get out of this. I can't
This
do
is
this.
happening to me.
Yeah, this is happening to me. It's like,
nothing's happening for me.
yeah,
Like,
it's
what
like,
are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing to help yourself? Well,
yeah,
I can't do
exactly.
this because of this guy. I can't do that because of that guy. I'm like, well, you just haven't learned to fucking get the fuck out of the way, dude. Life's punching you in the face, dude, and you're just standing there taking it. Fucking, and you're a bitch about it. Like, why the fuck is your head hurt? Because you're getting punched in the face by life every day.
Yeah.
And you're not doing shit about it, and you're getting sadder and sadder, and then those 10 to 20 to 30 problems that compile up in the day, if you don't handle them, turn quickly into 60 to 90 to fucking 100, whatever. I'm not math. Math is not me.
I mean, here's a small, very, very, very small example of like the conversation within my household, like between my wife and I. Like we talked about the idea of like moving again, even though we just bought this house less than a year ago. Just for work, we love the house. It's just after living here for almost a year, it's like, I don't know about the community as itself. Like we might want to move again later before everyone's in high school. And then, and she was like, we were both like, God, can we do that? And I was like, yeah, of course we can. We know now that we bought our first house, like we know now what it takes to buy a house. We already have a blueprint. So if we want to do it, let's go do it. You know,
Mhm.
it's as easy as that. So yeah. What I really I had a question I was going to ask you. Oh yeah. Well, like, I know you went through a shit ton. You specifically, when you transitioned out of the military. What was like that first obstacle that you had to like? What was that first thing that you were like, okay, this is plan A, and then shit hit the fan, and you're like, oh fuck, I can't do plan A, or in order to do plan A, I gotta fucking do A, B, and C.
I don't know, man. I think personally, I was stuck in that, this is happening to me thing.
Yeah.
I was half on board with how I am now, and like it was a blessing.
Yeah.
And that was like the one thing I kept telling myself was, I mean, if you guys don't know or haven't been listening, I was separated from the Army and divorced in the same month. Both of those were nobody else's fault, but mine. And yeah, we'll pop that up here in a second.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that too, Alder. But yeah, so I mean, it took me a while to kind of get out of my own head and kind of see it, and I mean, I always go back to it, man. But it took a good mushroom trip, and it was like I'd say at least almost close to a year. And I think I talked about it one of the times on one of the shows is like the roof always being there or whatever. I don't know. You just have these weird thoughts, and if you actually live with them instead of just being like, oh, it's stupid. Like mushrooms is your brain trying to tell your brain something. Like it's connecting the bridge between your brain and trying to literally tell you something. And so I think there was a point there where I tripped mushrooms and just decided, like, dude, I got to get a fucking job and start trying to do something. And no shit, dude. Next day, I started working at Burger King, and I worked at Burger King for about 2 days before I was just like, nah, dude. Like, I know I'm a piece of shit right now, but I'm not this guy. And that's not a knock to nobody working at Burger King.
Of course not.
Because that's where I started, bro. Like, that's where I mean, Burger King was one of my first jobs when I was 16. I'm food service, I took a break from food service to join the Army, came back to food service.
Hey, when you're in this shit, like that's the easiest thing to do is revert back to what you know.
Right. And that's basically where I was like, yo, I know I can do this. I'm still good. I can listen. I can take orders. I can, you can work in the kitchen. Bet. All right, bet. Boom, boom, boom. And like, fuck this, dude. I'm at Burger King right now. Like, I don't know, like the euphoria from the mushroom trip wore off 3 days later. And I'm like, what the fuck? Is this where it took me? Like, all right, dude. But and then I'm like, well, like the seed was planted now, like I'm in the mood. I'm trying to think of ways to be better at the time. One of them was when I started going to school. Definitely, I think when I was just kind of laying around one day with nothing, no income, because I hadn't gotten any disability at the time. I hadn't used any GI Bill or anything like that. So I was laying there and I kept hearing like infomercials during the day, and it was for Le Cordon Bleu St. Louis culinary school.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I heard it so many times that I fucking just sat up, and it's like, I don't know, dude, like 3:15, 3:30 in the afternoon. So I'm like, pick up my phone and just called him like, hey, do you guys accept GI Bill? And the guy was like, hell yeah. And I'm actually still friends with him to this day. Alan Parker, shout out to that dude. He was like the recruiter or the rep that called me and basically like showed me through the school. He was cool ass dude. And just was like, yeah, man, this is how we do it. And you hooked me up with all the GI Bill people. And I think through that time was where I was really trying to start thinking about like I have the opportunity to get back out of where I was. I mean, I wanted to get out of home. That's why I left in the first place.
Yeah.
The Army was the first thing fucking cooking out that was also paying. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, it's too easy, bro. I'll fucking sign up for the Army, and if I fucking bite the bullet for our country, then I'll be remembered a hero. And if not, I'll come home and have to deal with that fucking later. And that's what I did. And so yeah, here I am in culinary school trying to figure that out. And I mean, it took a while, dude.
I think that's a good point to make also. Like, when you're going through your steps or you're going through your life plan, it's gonna take. It's not gonna like that adjust fire or like adapting to whatever circumstance you have doesn't have to take a day. It could
No,
take
fuck
years.
no.
Yeah, it could take fucking years, dude.
And that's one of those things, dude, is if you set that goal, and my goal at that time was like, I'm gonna get this fucking degree and I'm gonna move out. And and as I'm doing it, it's like, yo, like people are getting jobs. They called them, so it's externships. So basically you did like a quarter or a semester away, but you were getting graded for it. And like people were going to Disney, people were going like on cruise ships and shit, dude. And I'm just like, damn, that's dope. But I wound up cashing in mine and going for a second round, and I did 2 externships at the end of my whole thing. But anyways, I stayed in town, but I knew that it could get me out of town. And then by the time I was done with school, that's when I wound up in Colorado. So
there you go.
Ultimately, like the world was always bringing me to Colorado, and people would be like, oh, it's because of the weed, isn't it? Like, well, I mean, yes, but not like for what you think it is. Not because I'm just like, oh, it's just a pothead, man. It's all about smoking weed and fucking. It's not like that for me. I wanted to go somewhere where I wasn't going to be fucking labeled as a criminal for smoking marijuana, which is legal in the state over and legal in the other state over. I mean, it is there now in Missouri. So, but it was. I mean, for me, that was a part of it, and then just mountains and being somewhere different, pretty. I was really in like this I defended it, I want to see it mindset at that time.
I like that. That's a good. I love that, dude. Yeah. I do. Yeah.
Me and my boy Josh actually fucking drove that. You were there. We came to your house that time. I was very in that mode then. That was before I went to school though. I was very much in like wherever the world takes me at this time is where we're going. And dude, we wound up in Huntington Beach, California.
I envied you so much when you came to Fort Riley, dude. I was like, God, you're living.
I was definitely living.
I gotta go to Gunnery.
I was definitely living, dude, but it wasn't super dope. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but like that trip was definitely stressful. Just because like I didn't know, and I didn't have any money, so the dude with me had all the money. And so he was just like, at one point, he's like, "We're almost out of money," and I'm like, "Fucking what?"
There's an adjust fire.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, we're only I think we woke up in like Flagstaff, Arizona, I think it was, dude. And we're at like some rest stop because we were rest stop sleeping in my that black truck I had.
Yeah.
And fuck yeah, like we're in the parking lot, wake up, I'm smoking a cigarette, looking at these beautiful fucking mountains in Arizona, and I'm like, yo, this is dope as fuck. Like he's like, yeah, we're broke. And I'm like, what? He's like, we got like 2 grams of weed, and that's it. So funny story though. We got pulled over the night before. We were trying to make it to see the Grand Canyon. So I was speeding. We got pulled over in Arizona because my windows were tinted, and you can't have windows tinted in Arizona, by the way.
Boo.
So the cop pulls us over. He's like, he's being cool with me. I'm being cool with him. My boy Josh, he wasn't he's not very obedient when it comes to the law. He's very fuck the police type.
Yeah.
And to his credit, he is to their face, no matter where he's at, no matter what situation. So like, if you're going to be that way, you be it all the time, so that's who he is for sure. And he's like, yeah, he's like, cop's like, hey, where's the weed? I'm like, man, we got like a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know where it's at. I'm like, he's got it. It's in the truck somewhere, ultimately it would have been my fault. Right.
Yeah.
Josh is like, he's like, I don't got no fucking weed. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. And I was like, well, I guess we're out then, and again, and that's where I believed it because I thought we were out. So long story short, this dude's fuck you, fuck the cops, this and that. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Let me talk to this dude. I got a ticket for window tint, which I forgot about. Winds up, it suspended my license for 7 years, and I had no idea. But going back to the pullover, this dude fucking put the bag of weed inside a little can of Pringles, took some chips out, threw it in the side of the chips, and then just because there was just trash in the back seat from a road trip, just fucking, dude, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, officer. We don't got no fucking weed. And I'm just like, oh my God. And so as we start rolling away, he's like, you want to smoke a blunt? And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. But yeah, so yeah, that was let's go back here and catch up on some of these comments. Alder, yeah, I saw that. So Life tried sticking me last night, panicked for a few minutes, asked for help, got some. took the help I got and went and fixed my truck by myself, moved on instead of sitting in depression or the I don't know what to do. And like, that's a huge thing. I saw that you posted to YouTube University. Yo, if you don't know how to do something, man, somebody on YouTube took the time out of their day to show you how to. You just don't know them yet, dude. And if for mechanics, bro, I think it's like, what was it? 1A Auto, bro. They'll show you anything on any model car at any time. And that's fucking a good place to buy parts. So I'm gonna hit up 1A Auto for a sponsorship now.
Yeah, good for you, Alder, trying to figuring that stuff out. I can't as
fucking recruiters. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're right though, dude. It would have completely broke me from if he wasn't cool, you know. Yeah, it would have been different for sure. But I mean, ultimately, I still would have went, but definitely made me feel better because every time I seen him, he's like, "What's up, my man?" And like I said, I'm still friends with him on Facebook. I could probably hit him up right now, and he'd be like, "What's good?"
Yeah, I definitely get frustrated a lot. Like if I don't know stuff, and I feel like I have to know stuff just because the two titles that mean the most important to me, dad and husband. You know what I'm saying? I have to know everything, or I have to know how to fix everything. So when I don't know it, it frustrates me. Alder, I had that kind of situation yesterday, in response to buying a gas can. I bought an eco-friendly gas can. I don't know why it's eco-friendly. It's
probably made out of something.
I don't know, but no, it was eco-friendly because of the stupid green little knob that unlocks and locks the little tube that pours the gas. Anyway, I ended up breaking
an old metal one.
I ended up breaking that thing. I YouTubed it. Everyone on YouTube was like, "Yeah, this thing's a piece of crap. I just take the spring out." And I was like, you know what? If everyone on YouTube is saying it's a piece of crap, it's a piece of crap. And my wife was like, "Did you figure it out?" I was like,
"Yep."
Yeah, I did. Look, watch, gas, lawnmower,
spring.
She's like, what took so long? Why couldn't we figure it out? I was like, I don't know, but I figured it out. It's good.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. It's fixed.
Yeah, it's fixed. Let's go finish mowing the yard.
Oh man. Yeah, that's fucking good shit, dude. So
yeah, good for you, Alder. I'm glad you were able to figure that stuff out. And nothing drives me more up the wall than being presented with a problem and trying to adapt to it and not being able to in the moment. And YouTube definitely saves my ass on a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. Yes. And speaking of the wife, she's gonna come on here in a bit. If
hell yeah, dude.
She takes she takes showers. And
Gross.
she takes 3-hour showers, dude. The first 30 minutes is the shower, and then the next 2.5 hours is drying the hair, straightening the hair, curling the hair, and then a little lotion, and then the
lotioning, oiling, lotioning. I can't take it anymore.
What do you say, Alder? What do you say? It's a big win for me since it was the most mechanical thing I've ever done. Oh yeah, dude. You know what the most mechanical thing I've ever done? It's and this all ties into today, adjusting fire. I had a Ford F-150 King Ranch. I think it was a 2008. And I forgot what, something was wrong with it, and I already forgot what it's called. But I ended up having to take the engine, open the engine, and because of YouTube, what are those things called, dude? You know car parts?
Kind of.
Spit me some engine car parts.
Really?
She's right here. Hey, do you remember?
I was just about to go.
Do you remember the Ford? What was it called?
The whole thing?
No,
the problem is circled.
The problem that was wrong with the Ford.
Oh, the spark plug?
No, was it the spark plug? No,
really, dude.
It can be. Was it the spark? No. Is that what we did in the parking lot? Yeah. What was the thing?
We
called?
Support transmissions here.
Anyway, there was a special. Yeah.
Did you fix the horn? Was it the starter?
No, it wasn't the starter. It was the
Blinker fluid. It's got to be the blinker fluid.
God, that's fucking with me now. It was
It's got
I think it was the spark plug or
the
something.
actuator.
It was one of the little things.
Yeah, no, it was
capacitor.
no, it was a spark plug because like in the F1 there was like 8 of them in the engine or some shit. One of
Yeah,
them
that's a
had, like,
spark plug, dude.
one of them had gone dead, and like it was, and they were telling me they're like, oh, you either like one of my mother-in-law's like my mother-in-law's neighbor was like a mechanic, and he was like, yeah, this is pretty much shit. You're gonna have to get a new truck or get a new engine, or you could like, and he's like, if that's the problem, we can figure out the problem if you take the spark plug out, but you need a special tool. And I was like, what the fuck? So I YouTubed it, and my mother-in-law like helped me out. Like we YouTubed it, found the special tool, and like I cranked that thing out, and they were like, you got it out? I was like, yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
Dude,
and it's
you
still
know
a piece of
what?
shit.
I think this is a perfect time to do it.
What?
Hang on. To
Oh,
segue
yeah.
into
Oh,
a
yeah.
sponsorship announcement.
Speaking of mechanics, mechanical, this is the best. This is why I brought it up.
Yeah, fucking nailed it, dude. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, announcing today. So Tejas Fabrication, they reached out. If you don't remember Will Putnam, he was one of our earlier guests from the Entrepreneur Series. He is another one of our official first set of sponsors. So shout out to him over at Tejas Fabrication. If you ever need anything done as far as custom sheet metal work, restorations, custom suspension, engine swaps, paint, body work, I mean, shit, these guys are doing everything over there. And you can always look at their Facebook, which we have right here. Oh, no, sorry. You can reach out to them there, teasfabrication@gmail.com. Or if you're in the Elkmont, Alabama area, give them a call, 256-701-4873. Again, those guys are the best. We actually got them rescheduled. We got him and his business partner scheduled to come back on and just tell us how things have been since being on the show and everything like that, because we want to check in with our guys. So yeah, that's them.
I love their name too. I love their name too, Tejas Fabrication, because it's from Texas, but they live in Alabama, so they're still repping Texas, which I think is cool. That's what I do here in South Carolina. I rep the fuck out of Texas.
Hell yeah. I don't think I lived there long enough to rep it, but
that's dope, dude.
They're in here putting in work, man.
He was one of the first. Yeah, they were one of the first ones that put in a shirt order. So
yeah, pretty much immediately. So again, man, we appreciate you, brother, and boom, that's a sponsorship announcement right there for that ass.
Yeah, we're gonna make keep a lookout. I'll be making some videos for Tejas Fabrication here pretty soon. Rolling it out.
That beautiful bean footage.
Roll that footage.
So yeah, I definitely wanted to maybe touch on a little bit more of the adjusting fire, maybe in a sense of how we do it as men, as fathers, mainly fathers and husbands is kind of where I'm aiming this next little bit at. So we can segue into potentially having your wife come in and share some of her life experiences and that of being an Army wife and stuff like that.
For sure.
Plus, I just love having her on because her accent is fucking dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
But so no, like the the adjusting fire, dude. Like how has that been able to help you be a better parent?
Adjusting fire. How's that helped me be a better parent? It helps me, like it helps analyze certain situations. I wish I could do it all the time. I'd be lying to everyone and myself if I said I did it all the time.
Right.
But like, being a dad first and foremost. Like if you're, there's a lot of stuff to like school schedules, sports schedules, like activity schedules. Like, their kids have their own lives. Your own kids have their own lives. So you have to, like, or in doctor's appointments and like stuff that comes up, in the middle of your day, like, I mainly I mainly work from home. So like if I'm sitting here like doing my thing or working from home, and then like something comes up that I have to do, I have to interact or help with one of the kids. I'm not gonna lie, like my first immediate thought is like, what the fuck? I don't have time to do that right now.
Mhm.
Like I'm working. Like please leave me alone.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, I'm working, leave me alone. And then I just think about it. It's like, well, like work's not going, like I'm bad when it comes to I'm bad when it comes to work versus the kids. I don't know how other parents do it or dads do it. Kids will always win for me.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like
could
I'm gonna be that way too. Like
like
the
I could
work's
have
not going nowhere. I'm
yeah
still ahead of the game at work.
yeah
You're
like
always trying to catch up as a dad. I feel like, especially in your
oh for sure
situation, a dad of 4. I
yeah
mean,
because
you got to
like
spend them time. You got to, I don't know. Yeah, the work's
yeah,
gonna be there.
yeah, and you have to like and like I've always had that mentality of just like, regardless of what kind of job I have, I could be a millionaire. And if I don't attend this one meeting, then I'm losing the job versus doing something with my kid. I'm doing the kid thing first. So like, yeah, first, when a situation comes to me as a dad and I have to like, roll with the punches, or what do you say? What did Murdoch say?
Adjust. Yeah.
Adapt to the circumstance. Kind of usually just sit and evaluate of like, and it's quick. It's like, damn, like I'm really pissed off that I have to go do this right now because I'm supposed to be working, but the kids are more important. Let's close the laptop and let's go do this thing real quick, or let's go do it for however long it's going to take. Let's go do it. Yeah, always like at the end of the day. I said it earlier. Like at the end of the day, I have 2 titles that mean the most to me: dad and husband. So,
And co-host of Veteran Chat Project.
of course, yeah. My bad. So if there's a situation that's going to come up and affect one of the 2, I'm going to make sure I do whatever it takes to keep those titles intact.
For sure.
So I mean that's how I do. What about you though? I feel like I like your input because you're fresh in the game.
Yeah. I feel like I don't have a leg in this horse, or a leg in or a horse in this race, but I had a good point just there after what you said. I forgot what it was, but yeah, definitely. I think it's really ultimately honed in that for me, I need to be able to do it silently.
Mm-hmm.
Because my son is listening now. He's 2 years old and he says everything daddy says, including titties.
Oh, they will. They're.
I was just like, what did you? Oh my God. But I don't know, man. I've already known twice I've had to, I wouldn't say give up anything necessarily because they were just jobs, right? Jobs versus careers for me are a huge difference.
Yeah.
What I'm pursuing right now, I'm pursuing with the mindset of a career.
Yeah.
With your company, with that shit, that's career move for me. That's not like, oh, I'm just gonna get this job. So that's what it was, dude. Core values as a family, something I learned on that podcast. I think you putting your kids and family first is your core values. Places like, versus the work that is still going to be there, still need to get it done. Sorry, I trailed off, but
No, you're good.
It hit me. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's definitely made me a better person, being able to adjust fire. But like I said, being able to do it quietly without, my initial reaction, like you said, is always something that of like, why, what the hell, this, what the fuck, bullshit, this,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're just like, you gotta tell yourself, shut the fuck up, sit down, listen to yourself, like, look at the problem at what it is and figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure out that there's not just one way to do things. There's actually, if you're only focused on the goal, then the process is a story you tell when you get there. Basically, it's not like, it doesn't have to be this pre-planned thing. Like you're fucking like, oh, I went left here. I go right here. I go left here. No, fuck that. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have a cool story to tell if you plan every step. I did everything according to plan and life worked out great. Like, all right, dude, cool. No, you didn't.
Yeah. That means you didn't learn anything.
You didn't learn anything because life
Yeah.
never fucked you up, dude. Life
Yeah.
never was just like, hey, come here, you stupid motherfucker. Be smarter. And then you were just like sitting there just one day, just like, I'm gonna be smarter. And you know, ultimately, again, as I mentioned in the letter to myself, you know, without those mistakes, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And
Oh, for sure.
without those lumps, my man Slim Shady said it best. You know, took my bruises, took my lumps, fell down, and I got right back up. He's a poet.
Oh, for sure. One of the best.
One of the best.
Hey, there's a I like what you said there. I always do. But yeah, I like that when you get to the I'm gonna hide this real quick. When you get to the end goal, it's
As long as you say hi to the podcast. Come just say hi. Verbally.
yeah, just verbally.
I love you.
Hi, love you.
Hi, love you too.
She loves everybody.
Love you too. Here's a couple comments I want to bring up here. One from Alder, which I think is a great point. The great comment. The hardest is adjusting from work to being a dad at the end of the day, like dropping the stress and letting a huge letting a hug break me back down. Or a question about Roblox. Oh yeah, that's the toughest. That's the greatest thing. Even I feel like I can't. I work from home, and I feel like a lot of people are like, hey, you work from home, like you get to see your kids all the time, especially during the summer. But like when I work from home, like I'm zoned in. My wife does a very, very, very good job of like trying to give me my space, so that I can focus on the task, whatever task I have at hand. But at the end of the day, when I shut the laptop down, or even like if I'm taking a break and I'm like super stressed about deadlines or whatever I have to do, um, a simple hug, dude, from one of the kids, or just a simple hey dad, while you were gone or while you were working, I unlocked all this stuff from the battle pass on Fortnite. It's something stupid.
Yes.
And it's just like not stupid, something something in their world that is like awesome, but just doesn't mean anything to me, but it's awesome to them in their eyes. And it's just like it's as important as a hug, those verbal affirmations from them. And it's just like, that's awesome, kid.
You
Good for
know
you.
what? And I tell you this, that's huge. Even responding to that, and I know you said stupid shit and it's not meant as stupid shit,
Yeah.
but like responding to that in that way of being like, dude, that's fucking dope. Because, and this is a belief that I have, people with older kids could probably tell me different, but like, I think that's eventually it's gonna lead to him being able to, or them all being able to talk to you about fucking everything, because you never
Exactly.
once shut them down. When they came to tell you something, even as trivial as I played Fortnite for an hour, like, I know that, but like, oh, dude, that's dope. Did you get
Yeah.
any wins? Like, no, I didn't.
Oh,
Oh, it's
yeah.
cool, bro. Keep shooting, keep getting at
Yeah.
it. Hey, have you drank any water lately?
Yeah.
You know?
To caveat off that, what I said, like, I haven't always been that way. It was a decision my wife and I made with our oldest, because we saw that she was getting older. We didn't, and as she got older, things happened, and we got to like a kind of crossroads where we're like, hey, we want you to tell us everything. We're something had happened. We're like, hey, let's not let this thing happen again. We want to be the source of your, like, we want to be your comfort. If you tell us everything. And when we had that conversation with our oldest, I was like, I need to adopt that mentality for the rest of the kids too. So my son loves playing video games as much as he loves being outside. So even something small, hey dad, while you were gone in Ohio, I figured out how to roller skate backwards. I was like, dude, that's dope.
Right? Like, let's go.
Show me.
Right? Like, let's go. Show me that right
Yeah.
now. Dropping everything, like bags
Yeah.
still in the car. I don't give a shit. I'm putting
Yeah.
on skates.
Here's I love us talking about this parenting thing, dude. Here's what's this? That's a hot chick. What's her name? Janelle Boughton. Being a parent is jumping in with both feet and head all the way under. You have to write your own parental how-to book. Oh, for sure. You have to do that. If they had a book for how to be a parent, I think we'd all buy one. Yeah, I think we'd all buy one. I think Kyle would agree too. That's a good comment. Miss Janelle, what's this next one? Open communication is major. Sometimes there will be conversations you don't want to have. They're hard to have, and be approachable. Yeah, you got to be approachable to your kids. And for my veterans out there, it's hard to be approachable when you're a veteran. You deal with your daily mental health journeys or struggles, or when you're on when you're on the mental health. Kyle was talking about this comment. This I hate saying her name.
Just say it. We all know her by now.
Well, just it's weird for me. This comment that mom put up there: open communication is major. Sometimes there will be conversations you don't want to have. They're hard to have. Be approachable. It's hard to be approachable to as most veterans are hard to be approachable is what I was trying to say. Just because
Fuck yeah.
because it's especially with their own kids. But it's that's the part of the conversation we're trying to have today of adjusting fire and adapting to the situation, and that situation being your kids. You have to be able to compartmentalize sometimes, and just like I'm having a shitty day, or I woke up because I had a bad dream. That bad dream is ruining my day, but you gotta try
Yeah,
to
your
not let
kids
it.
don't give a fuck about none of that.
Nope. No, they don't. No, they don't.
But one day, dude, and I truly believe it, like with that mentality, and it's especially important because and again, that's what we talked about, that resiliency, that you adjusted fire and changed the way you parented, and I think that in the long run is going to do wonders. And I mean, I probably adjusted the way I parented a number of times in my head before I even had kids. Like, I ultimately don't want to have I ultimately don't want to have a situation where it's like I'm ruling my household necessarily. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah.
Because it's definitely something in another one of the Amen books that I'm reading. It's just the family values, dude. Put those family values first. Like, sit down with your spouse and come up with like what's important to you and her as a family, that you want your kids to learn. That way, whenever anything comes up, anything tries to divide that, you stick to your core values as a family.
Yes.
And no matter what, that's where you're going with it. Did you need me to send that to her?
Yeah. Could you?
Yeah.
'Cause the while you're doing that, like you brought up a good point of like sitting down with your spouse. And one thing, like I love the army, love the military. I have a lot of gripes and complaints about, like, as far as like leadership and how things are done.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's one thing, and same thing with like religion too. I'm not really a very religious person. But if there's one thing I can say about like those two entities, like religion and the military, like in the military, I do commend them for like having new couples sit down, like in the military, like you're about to get married. Okay, well, we suggest you guys go to that's always in the counseling statement when you're talking to your to your lower enlisted, like, hey, before you get married, here's a counseling statement. This is what's going on in your life, because not all counseling statements are bad, but this is what's going on in your life. You're about to get married. I suggest, as your leader, maybe sit down, talk to your future wife about going to counseling so you can have a successful marriage. And same thing in religion too, like before you get married, go sit down, talk to the preacher. What are you guys about? Like, what your beliefs? So, like, yeah, I'm when you said that, that's the first thing that popped in my head. I think more people should do that. I forgot who said that or where I heard that from, but I think if more people sat down with maybe a marriage counselor before they got married, the divorce rate would probably be a little bit less. But that's
Or
not.
at least, I mean, at the bare minimum, do check your own shit at the door, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's been huge for me. It's like those automatic negative thoughts. I
Yeah.
let go of a lot of them just in the last 2 weeks since we talked of them. Not let go, but let's just say put into practice eliminating those ants as they arise. And I mean, just in my household alone, the tension is down further just because I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta stay late. This one thing that it bothers me. I guess a stay-at-home parent, I'm sure your wife can vouch for this. Like, and it's not even any fault of your own, but like being late from work or like having to stay late or having to, whatever the case may be, would probably be like, fuck, dude, like, and then like that alone could piss you off because it's like, man, I've already been with these kids for like 13 fucking hours.
Yeah.
And I'm touched out, I'm talked out, I'm fucking basketball shotted out. Like I'm you know what I mean? Like I'm at the end of my fucking rope. And then you're
My
like,
cup is empty. My
you're
boot is
3 out,
empty.
boot's fucking empty. And you're 2 hours late, and I'm over here like fuck Walgreens. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like it can be taxing, and being able to just be like, you know what, like whatever.
That's a good segue into the next
It's not her
conversation.
fault,
No, it's not. That's a good segue into the next conversation that you asked about being a parent and like adjusting, adapting to the circumstances of being a parent. What about being a spouse, being a husband? Like what are some things that you've approached? And you already brought a couple of them up, that work-life balance.
Yeah.
But what are some other things?
For me, it's being open to hear what my wife has to say, and not trying to automatic negative thought it into what I think she's saying. And that's something that I think is going to be huge for us moving forward. Just me thinking about that. It's huge because I mean, like she is kind of the type to she likes to talk shit. That's like her love language is physical touch and talking shit. And she's good at it, dude. She'll throw some jabs at you that you ain't ready for because she's very unassuming.
Yeah.
But she's good at it too. And then sometimes I'm just like, you meant that shit. She's like, no, I didn't. I was just joking. I'm like, whatever.
Hey,
But you know what I mean? It's not even that situation.
Before you go on any further, I want to make you laugh because you talked about the love language thing. So I saw me and my wife went. I forgot where we were at, but we there was like a taco menu, and like it was like they had converted their taco, like this little taco thing, about into like love languages. So like love, like what was it? Words of affirmation would be like, "Hey, do you want a taco?"
Yeah.
and like physical would be like physical touch would equal like, here, I made you
Here's
a
a
taco.
taco.
Sorry, dude. Yeah,
It's true though.
yeah.
I made tacos. We're thinking about tacos. We're talking about tacos. I brought you tacos. Here is a taco. But no, I sent that link to her.
Okay, I'm reminding her right now.
But yeah, man, I think it's huge. And then while actually we have a little bit of time, I actually forgot. I do have something that I haven't really been showing off lately. This right here. These are
Those stickers?
iron-ons. No, these are
Oh, you told me those.
these are iron-ons for your shirts. They'll go on pretty much anything. Black and just the black Veteran Chat Project logo. It's, I don't know.
That's dope.
So we got those. These are I don't know, $3. Send me $3. I'll send you 2 of them. You can put them on anything. I got a stack of them right here. Damn.
Dude, that's dope, dude.
Yeah. All you need to do is iron them on or heat press them.
I might do that.
Put it on a hat.
Could you heat press that to like? Could you do that to like a polo shirt?
I did actually. It's upstairs.
I might do that to a work shirt.
Yeah. Oh, window decal. No, they're for your. I can do window decals. They're just a pain in the ass. These are actually shirts. So for your shirt, so cheaper option than buying a shirt, but we're hoping to make the next round of shirts a little more affordable. Well, actually, I think $25 is about run of the mill for a shirt. So I think $25 is gonna be where that's at. Like I said, these things right here, I don't remember how much I paid for a package of them just to test the company out. But yeah, they're iron-ons, or you can sit on them with your big warm tushy, nest it for a little bit. But yeah, so
yeah, it's being sitting down and listening is something I think that's something I'll probably work on till the day I die, dude. I'm not.
Oh yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy
yeah.
because you're ultimately like as a veteran or as like a soldier or whatever, you know, you kind of Alder, I can send you the deal if you want to cut your own cricket and put it on your car. Just message me offline.
How'd you send that link real quick? I'm sorry.
I sent it to her on Facebook.
Facebook. Sorry.
No worries. I mean, I'm worried, but yeah, dude, it's hard because ultimately you're trained to kind of fight back, you know,
Yeah.
not necessarily fight back in the sense with your spouse, but like in the general aspect of the word, you know, when you're fucking pushed, do you push back or do you run? And there's no options other than that in the military mindset. But and there is a third option, and it's to fucking listen.
Yeah.
You know, like because the world isn't the army, and the world isn't what you learned 100% in the military. So
Yeah.
it's
And unlike
not it's not like kill, you know, like it's not like that out here. You know what I mean? Like there's a couple steps between there.
And unlike the military, like communication in the civilian world is a two-way street. You know, it's not when we had the uniform on, it was like, hey, jump. And you're like, okay. Here it's like jump. Why am I jumping?
Like, I need to know. My knees hurt.
I need to know why we're jumping.
Last guy made me jump. I jumped so much my knees hurt.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Jumped out of a damn helicopter and I broke my knee. Okay. But yeah, open communicate, like, you know, active listening is what it is essentially. Active listening. I think that's ironic that you brought that up. One of the people I follow on TikTok, on like military TikTok community, his name's the Lord of Lips. He's a senior NCO in the Army, but like his thing is like he makes funny videos. He puts chapstick on and he dances to that what's that Silence of the Lambs like song.
Oh, ding.
Yeah.
Oh,
but he also has like a bunch of like great tips on like how to be successful in the military and like then he'll like go through like frag orders and like warrant orders and like this is how you teach a lieutenant how to do their job, like stuff like that. Super cool dude.
I think you should hit him up and try to get him on the show. That is your assignment.
I thought about that today, actually.
Do it. So this is what I want to leave you with before we get Janelle on. When you feel it, do it. Especially when it comes to the show or when it comes to like when you think about it, dude, do it. I've been doing that, and a lot of great things have been happening lately. Just because I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it, and it opens doors, man. It's in the book. Feel it, do it, my man. So would you like to introduce our next guest?
Yeah, sure. Why not? She's pretty hot. Fine, in my opinion. But yeah, we wanted to bring her on there just to ask her some questions in regards to like being a military wife, being a veteran's wife, any input she might have for any other veteran wives or spouses out there or military spouses out there. I said it before, like we'd love to bring on the military spouse and veteran spouse community. But to me, like it only feels right to ask my wife these questions before I ask other wives these questions. So without further ado, Janelle Boughton, everybody, what's up?
Hi.
Hi.
You're so cute. What's up, babe? Where are you at?
Yeah, where are you? That room doesn't look familiar at all.
Yeah. Well, before we start, not before we start. I liked what you said about, you know, being a parent is jumping in with both feet and your head all the way under is where you're right here. Being a parent is jumping in.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I clicked on that one. Your mom. She's precious.
Being a parent being a parent. Oh my God. If I have to repeat this one more time, being a parent is jumping in with both feet and head all the way under. You have to write your own parental how-to book. That's a great tip because I know you've done. I mean, if you could write a book on how to be a parent, I think it would be massive just because the stuff that you've been through solo as a single mom. And I say single mom just because, you know, you tackled, you know, our first 3 kids pretty much solo by yourself.
And you went on deployments.
Yeah. Went on deployments. Africa. Yeah.
Africa.
It was rough. That shit was rough. I got so tan. Yeah.
So tan.
I got so tan. Like,
Yeah.
Almost got eaten by a whale shark. I mean,
Hey, that's what that combat hazard pay is for. Almost getting eaten by whale sharks.
fuck a whale shark pay, dude.
So like, so today's episode, we're talking about like, adjusting fire, adapting to circumstances. What was, if you could, what would be one thing that what speaks the most to your mind when it comes to adapting to circumstances, first and foremost being a military wife when you were one?
Adapting. I don't know. I mean, everybody adapts in different ways. I mean, you just have to approach, each situation with an open mind, and, I don't know. That's a good one. Adapting is different for everybody. Everybody's version is different, but I think for me, I never really questioned being a parent or being a spouse. It was just something that I did. I did what I thought was best every day, and like being stay at home or working parent, like we all just have to tackle it individually, and you have to be in like your own mindset before you can be a parent. You have to know like who you are and what you need, because if you don't know that, then I mean, how are you supposed to give needs to someone who needs you if you don't know how to need things for yourself?
It's like the blind leading the blind at that point.
Yeah. And it's like that comment I saw earlier from I forgot who said it. Like, just like being in the airplane, like you got to put your oxygen mask on first.
Yeah.
Before you help everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Sure.
What's one piece of advice that you would give to other military spouses out there that are in the active military community, as far as like how to successfully navigate this? I know it's an open-ended question, but like how to successfully navigate those waters.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a few things. Patience is definitely one of them, but I think what you and I have come to learn really quick is absolutely nothing in a relationship works without communication. I mean, period, above all else, communication. If you don't have communication, nothing else works.
For sure.
You can't have anything without communication. And
yeah, that's actually like and they say like in the military, like the number one rule or the first thing you want to do in all wars is establish communication. And that's the best way to knock down the enemy is to take out if you take out the enemy's ability to communicate, then you win the war. So that's why, I mean, that communication is super important.
Yeah. And and communication builds on so many other things. It's not just, hey, let's have a conversation. It's, hey, let's communicate about trust. Let's communicate about like how you're feeling, and it gets kind of sensitive, but if you want a relationship to work, whether you're just friends or whether you're married or whatever, like communication just it branches out, and it's just such a network that drives so many other things other than just having a conversation.
Oh, so
yeah. I would put that as being like my advice. Just communicate. No matter what it is, no matter what you're doing, communicate. If you're having a bad day, just simple like, hey, I'm having a bad day, I'm not in the mood right now. And that's been something I've had to do lately. Like I can't right now. I cannot do this right now. I just need you to just leave me be for a second.
I think that stuff would have helped too. Like, I mean, like you said, like this is something like we both just started navigating within like the last like 2-3 years, probably 5, maybe 2-3 years. I don't know, but like
definitely since we've moved here.
Yeah, especially since we got the house. But like I've thought like, this is I wonder how much better deployments would have been if those boundaries were set. Like, hey, I know you want to call me. I know you miss me. You're overseas, but I'm not having a good day today. So just text me, message me, and I'll, call me tomorrow.
And I think age has a lot to do with that for us. I mean, we started off just hitting all the notes.
Yeah.
Right in like the first year of everything we did. We hit every road that some people take like 3, 4, 5 years to figure out. And so there was not really like mentally enough room to be like, oh, I need to communicate more, or I should open my mouth and say something like that. That stuff just wasn't there because I was either focused on other people's needs, people that needed me, or like, how do I stay focused? How do I stay like occupied while he's gone? Other than the obvious of being a parent, know. So
right, because that's not everything. You got to do something else.
Exactly, and that's something that you voiced you voiced not too long ago. Like, I want to be like, I want more than that identity as being a parent. So yeah. And it's not a bad thing. It's like it's really not.
And it's not, but it's hard to, when you've been a parent for so long and that's all that drives you. It's hard to find something else like, okay, what actually do I enjoy now?
Right.
What actually do I enjoy that doesn't involve 3, 4 kids? And I don't, what do I do for me? And
I mean, Kyle, you go through that too, right? I mean,
I do for sure. But like, and I actually wanted to ask, like, based on the woman's perspective, because my wife, so she sometimes has like that issue of, she works a lot. So like when she's like has downtime for herself and she like wants to sleep and she needs to sleep, but she'll be like, oh, I didn't do anything for myself, or I didn't do this. Cause like she's got the same issue. Like she doesn't want to just be a pharmacist, she wants to be a mother. She would switch shoes with me in a heartbeat if she could.
Yeah.
But I just, I don't make what pharmacists make. So I got to stay home. I was working at Amazon when we lost daycare. So it was pretty easy. Yeah. Yeah. But hey, like I said, career goals, baby. I'm grinding. But that's the goal with that. And that's the communication. I wouldn't even be entertaining that job had it not been with the communication of me and my wife, knowing that it's going to be 50-50 and I'm going to be traveling, and we have a village that we're, kind of building here to help out. And, it's gonna, shit's gonna get different here for us. And then over the next year. And I think that, like, just thinking about all the things that we've talked about here and moving forward, it's just gonna help. And I do think that this is something that I truly believe in these talks. And so I fucking love this. And I love all the comments, and I want to shout out to these real quick.
Oh, please. Yeah.
I would say educate yourself as a spouse. Your soldier will brain dump what was briefed on the drive home. Communication, trust, hurry up and wait, grace, kindness, empathy for your spouse. And I think that goes both ways for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I'm glad you said that.
Because I would be like, I would come home and then I would just be like, my wife would want, and this is my ex-wife, not my wife now. She would just want to like go do something, and then I'm like we were working a fucking lot, dude. We were training to deploy. Like there wasn't a second from when we came back that we weren't training to deploy. And I'm like, I just wanted to come home and relax. And she's like, I want to go get dinner or do this. And then, that turned into me, being like, what the fuck? Like, I just want to relax, and it was a problem because, I did not have grace, kindness, or empathy for my spouse as the soldier either. Not to say she was perfect, but like, that's definitely going to be a part of it, and I've never claimed to be innocent in that situation.
That's a good point. You mean the comment and you like brought up, like, from the soldier's perspective, like from the wife's perspective of like, how did you balance, or did you balance like that selfishness that you were, in my eyes, like the selfishness that you were, that you earned, really. Like, hey, I know you've been training all day, but I fucking miss you. You're home now. Let's go do something. Did it ever cross your mind, like, don't ask him to do stuff because he was training all day?
Always.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, those things are always there. Like, you don't want to like push too hard, or you don't want to like press too much about, the honeydew list or the hangout time or whatever, because, those like gunneries like never got any easier, and they never got any shorter, and, deployments never got any shorter. Like, those things were a must, and so you try to find like a positive way to be like we're here too. Like,
Yeah.
we're not, this isn't a separate thing, it's like a together thing. We have to do this together. And I think it's just been real recently that I've gotten a little more selfish, just because like we're getting older.
Yeah, you have.
And
yeah. Everybody knows.
Just kidding.
we're just, you have to find selfishness for yourself, and it falls back to doing things for you before you can do for everybody else.
You have to.
And so I think kind of dealing with some of the things that I was going through a little more tediously than before has helped me recognize things that are going on with KZ that I haven't really ever paid attention to.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I mean, it breaks my heart sometimes. It does, because I'm, I could have been a little bit more expressive, a little more, empathetic about, him, needing to like be in a certain space, or, not be in such a crowded place. Like, I always went through life and things that we did with just a normal mindset.
Yeah.
Like, not being like, oh, well, crowded spaces might make him nervous. Like, going in this car and, a long way, like that might make him a little paranoid, that just really small things that like people who, and spouses that haven't experienced what you guys have experienced, those things just, they don't occur to us. And just being more aware has been something I've tried to do, just to make things a little smoother, make the communication a little easier by just, like being a little more aware and empathetic. So,
and I love you. I love you for it. Because it's still a journey. It's still a process. Like on the flip side of that, like you and I have been through this journey. Like, out of the 4 deployments, you were with me through 3 of them. Like, how is Kyle? How is that communication with you and your wife? Like, with someone who wasn't there, but like, unfortunately is there to see the scars of what happened.
I don't think that I would be as I don't think I'd be sitting here today if it wasn't for my wife now. I don't give her enough credit. She is an angel, truly is, for putting up with half of the shit that I put her through with just, my mood swings and attitude and stuff like that. And was that a gummy? Oh, I'm like, damn, dude, you're popping hella gummies, dude. Fuck. I just watched him eat like 4. Anyways, no, dude, it's huge because she's the one that kind of is teaching me like it's okay to have these conversations, like, and her, she doesn't want to just be the wife that is just quiet and lets me, just go through these things alone, or say some pretty foul shit to her and not be like, dude, what the fuck's your problem? Like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm your wife. Like, we need to figure this out right now. And do that from a place of love and not do that from a place of hate. I think is huge. Not from a place of like, you need to fix it or we're, or I'm leaving, but it's just like you need to fix it or we're not going to work. And that's, I think if you don't understand the difference in the two of those, you know, then it's a huge part of, you know, your problem. It's because, you know, we're not going to work is not a, you know, and this is something that actually, you know, the me versus you, you know, that's the kind of stuff you need to stay away from in relationships for sure.
Toxic, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not, you know, and we don't have it like that, you know. I mean, it's hard because she definitely shines a mirror on some of the darkest parts of my shit, and she's just like, "Hey, you need to fix this," and I'm just like, "God damn, you fucking." There's some bedside manner on it or something, you know what I mean? But
that, I mean,
at
that's,
the
I
same
mean,
time, that's how I communicate. She knows
exactly.
that.
Same here. Like I need that shit too, and I don't know if it's because of the military, how I was brought up, but like I need that tough love of just like when, you know, my wife Janelle is just like, hey, you fucked up here. You need to fix this.
Mhm.
Got it, Roger.
They fix thing. Like
Yeah.
I don't think that
Right.
anything about what you guys have been through or what goes through your minds. It's not a fix thing. It's an address it, know it's there, and acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it's there because it's never going to go away. What you know, what you've seen, how your mind works, that stuff's not going to go away. It's always going to be there. Let's just address it. And when you have that panic attack or that stressful moment or that just day where you're just not feeling it, you feel like shit, let's just address it. Let's be aware of it and know how to fix it when it happens.
Yeah. And I mean, that's but just stuff like this, like fireworks shows. You know, not, I mean, they used to be me, not gonna lie. Like,
Took me
fire,
a couple
yeah,
years, but
yeah,
then I was
fireworks.
just like, it's just fireworks.
Exactly. Like, I mean, that's, and that was something like, you know, in all credit to my wife. Like, that was something I went through. Like, she, you know, she was like, "Hey, it's July 4th. You're gonna be good." I was like, I'd be good." And like years of that, and then eventually, like, it was literally like a light bulb, but just like, "Hey, dude, people are just celebrating. Like, go out, celebrate.
Right.
It's 4th of July, bro.
Shoot
Like,
some shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
like this is the reason why you went and spent 12 months in country so you could come back and enjoy fireworks. Let's enjoy fireworks."
I remember I was home on the 4th of July. I think it was after our first deployment, and driving with one. I could have been after I got out of the army, one of the two, but it was. I remember I was driving, and me and my buddy were driving through, and it was like during the time where all the fireworks were going off, and then like I just remember like kind of like getting super tense in the driver's seat, and my boy was like looking at me like like he's like, "Do you want me to drive?" You know what I mean? Like, cause he knew, you know, this is a friend of mine, good friend of mine. He knew I just came back from Iraq, all that shit, and he's like, he didn't know how to be like, "Hey, dude, are you gonna fucking kill us right now?" Or you know what I mean? Are you just gonna swerve into like oncoming traffic because you think there's, you know? And I'm just like, I'm like in my head, I'm like, I know that it's just fireworks, you know what I mean? And at the same time, like in my head, I'm like, dude, like you know, like in the movies where like they have them those, like I wasn't driving my car anymore. I was thinking about that, and that's where it was like, yo, that shit's dangerous. Because I'm daydreaming driving a car because I'm hearing doom 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 doom, and I'm just like, fuck, like, dude, what if this was like? And then I immediately go like, what if this was like? Where's my gun? But this car's not made for this shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, where's my backup? I got this motherfucker. This dude don't know shit. He's gonna get shot. I'm gonna have to fucking carry his ass. Like, this guy's 400 pounds. And you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just how it was. And then, yeah, again, that light bulb, and then you're just like, you know, it is just. Like now, I just like I prepare for it. Like that's 4th of July. I remember there was that sign. I think we talked about this earlier, but
a tanker
like,
lives here.
Yeah, an army tanker lives here. You're gonna have to do better than that to impress me, or something like that. So like my dad has these quarter sticks of dynamite that he gets from his buddy, dude, and they will fucking.
Oh my god!
They will put a hole in the earth. Something fucking wicked, bro.
Casey Hot Tank lives.
Yeah.
Throw it out there. Give credit where it is due.
I shot Top Tank.
Yeah, we both did.
Well, it's not about you, okay?
I shot Top Tank first.
Yeah, he did. Damn it.
I really am just proud of both y'all for that. That's a good achievement to have.
It is, dude. High five, KZ. Good job.
We had Kyle's cousin on last week. Danielle. She brought up a really great thing that I'm not sure if I heard before, but she said like, her husband who's about to be deployed, and he's been deployed before, you know, it it felt like, what did she say exactly? She, like, during deployments, like it felt like she was deployed too, just because she's doing, she's away from her spouse, she's doing everything by herself. Do you like? Did you feel that way too? All three trips I went around.
No.
No.
I there were of course always times where like I felt alone.
Yes.
That was mainly like the first deployment, but after that I always gave myself a reason to like have someone around, to make some kind of connection with someone. Or I was driving from Fort Riley to Texas to have family time because
Yeah, I remember seeing that on Facebook. Like it was like all the time. Like, oh, going to Texas. Like, damn, that's a haul.
just
Yeah.
that's what we do. That like family's family. Like that's what I know. I know being around my family. I know having like a door open so whomever comes by can walk through that door and they know they can come inside. Like that's what I knew. I knew
Sounds like part of those core values rubbed off on KZ, because that's what we were talking about a little earlier too, like putting that family first and all that shit above everything else. So it sounds like the Boughton household has some of their core values already in line.
Yeah, and then
that's fucking awesome.
That stuff rubs off from my wife, and like, of course it came from her mom. Like I wasn't that way before I met her. I'm not gonna like, dude. I grew up in a very, very different household. Surrounded by two people who worked in law enforcement. It was like my way or the highway kind of thing. But yeah, it's the family core values, dude. We talked about those. Here's a good one, right? Like some of the conversations are hard and makes you vulnerable, and that kind of like transitions into like being being a veteran's wife. What do you think is harder, if you could say harder? But what do you think, or I don't like the word harder. What do you think is more difficult to navigate, like being a military spouse or a veteran spouse?
Fuck, dude, I would say
veteran spouse.
Yeah, I'd say veteran spouse, because like my wife was not equipped for this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She wasn't briefed. She didn't get the information.
Yeah.
And not that like all the times of military spouses do, because again, it's as in life, everything is what you you put in, what you get out, what you put into it. So like I feel like she wouldn't have as many resources at her fingertips if she didn't go out and actively search those resources, right? So it's like I feel like it could be on the person. I think my wife may just be equipped to deal with somebody like me because she's just built like that, or you know what I mean. But it could be harder for a veteran wife, especially someone who met the veteran after service and that doesn't have much history with that. I think her ex before me was also a Navy vet, so had a little bit of experience. But yeah.
Plus, you're like, like what I said before, like, just like you're as a veteran, my military service was great. Time was good. Like it was great times with the guys, at least. Like it was great times. It was a great journey. And then afterwards, once I got the uniform off, is when like those first 5 years afterwards, I was like, God, I'm really fucked up. They did a number on me,
Yeah, and you don't even know it, dude. You
yeah,
don't even realize it.
And then like as a like Janelle, like as a wife, like in the military, like she had access to those services of like, hey, Army spouses, like Army wives, come to this meeting, or you can go here, learn here, take these classes, these courses on how to like effectively communicate with your soldier when they come home from redeployment. But now, as like a veteran wife, they're just, in my opinion, they're just as vulnerable as veterans, because it's like, hey, your husband or wife just get out of the military, and now they got all these scars.
Right. Yep. What are you supposed to do to help them?
Yeah.
And I do think, I think we could be that first resource for that. We could have more of these talks with your wife and with other military spouses, how to help your soldier come home.
Yeah. Jenna Barton, I know you're listening. So
like,
yeah.
and not just like home physically, but to come the fuck home, leave that shit behind, and just be home, be present, be a father, be a husband, be a wife. If your wife is the spouse that is deployed, whatever, you just be a better person in your household, because that's your team now, that's your platoon, that's your fucking tank crew. That's what you got. That's how I approach my family every day, dude. My family is the crew. Me and the crew were coming with it. Like, I got my wife, dude. I got a little baby man. I got dogs. I got cats. Like, what do you want? We got it from all angles, bro. Fucking, I send my cats out to scout out the thing, and then the dogs catch up with them, and then the wife's just out there, driving the car, and then me and the baby's on top with a turret, and just we're good, dude. We don't fuck around. Hey, look at it. There she
Oh,
goes.
here we go. Look at this, Jenna Barton. Agree with her 100. Agree with her 100. Military wife, you can find support. It's much harder to find someone to relate in the civilian world. You agree with that, Janelle?
Yeah, I've been wanting to say like structure is important. Finding structure in everything that you do, I had a point, but I lost it. But structure was what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It falls in line with a lot of other things. You gotta have, like Kyle said, like you just gotta learn to switch your mindset and learn that be present in the moment.
Yeah, I can't. What Jenna was saying, like finding someone you can relate to in the civilian world. I don't know if I can count on one hand how many military, like former Army spouses you've met since we've been out.
I'm gonna say, being enlisted gives you structure.
Yeah.
Civilian life has no structure.
You have to make it.
And that's the thing. That's the thing too, is you come out of the Army thinking that there's structure in the world, and like you're taught to scan your lane, and everyone else is scanning their lane, and everyone's got their lane, and you get out and you find out motherfuckers don't even know what a lane is. They have no idea what you're talking about. You're like, get out of my fucking lane. They're like, bitch, like I've been here for months. Like I don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah. And here you are, like it stresses you out because like you got people in your shit. Like how are you supposed to do your job? Like where are you at? You're supposed to be doing your job. So if you're not here doing something that someone else is here, then somewhere down the line someone's going to get fucked up for this because you know what I mean? And like, ultimately I'm stressed about that because the Army made me fucking nuts about control. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's no opinions when you're enlisted, because no one really is entitled to opinion because there's a chain of command. So it's my say and my say only. At a certain point, it stops. And then you get out in the civilian world and everybody has an opinion. Everybody has something to say. Everybody's
offended.
The stigmas, mental health should be this way and you shouldn't talk about it, or you should only talk about it with these people, or there's you don't want to say something that you shouldn't say because you might offend somebody. Like it makes it hard for you guys to want to like open up. And even me, like it's hard for me to want to say things out loud to certain people because they don't get it. They don't understand that my marital problems aren't the same as a couple that's just never had a military background.
Yes.
And so it's hard to be relatable with some people, even if you have the best connection or the best friendship before they even know anything about you. Like, you have to find something that's relatable with people, and it's harder to do in civilian life.
Yeah, it blows my mind how many people I meet like in work, like, or how many people I've met in the civilian world. I tell them about my marriage, I tell them about my family, and then they find out I have, like, it's always the twins. They find out I have twins, and they're like,
every time.
And it's like, oh, you got twins, and it's like, how was that for the, how was raising them? And I was like, I have no idea. My wife raised them for the first year of their life by herself. and they're just
with a 5-year-old at the
yeah.
time.
Oh
right?
yeah, with a 3-year-old.
He was
Yeah,
3.
and it's like most people that I talk to who are married, they can't wrap their mind around of that sacrifice of just like what you left her for an entire. I understand you left her for an entire year and she was okay with just like taking care of the kids by herself for a year.
She knew it. I mean, yeah,
You know?
she knew what she signed up for. It wasn't
Exactly.
hopefully going to be that many, but you know what I mean. Like that's just what she got, and
But yeah,
Well, and
yeah.
that's
she's one of the
we
good
talk-
ones because she stuck it out, and true to the promises she made to you and God that day at the courthouse in Killeen, Texas, dude. she wrote it out,
Yeah.
and that's why we showed up.
Yeah, I want to pull this up real quick because this can be before you sign off. I'll pull it up. Come on, because this can go in two avenues. The reintegration into a marriage after a year deployment can be difficult. Boundaries, adjusting to daily life as a family. It's phases. At first, it's a honeymoon phase. Some are smooth, some struggle. Resentment, wife wanting a break from the kids, wanting me time. Yeah, that's I can. That's definitely a thing after deployment, and
The
it's
honeymoon phase was real.
yeah, and it's especially and I think that also translated into taking the uniform off for the very first time after you ETS, because Janelle can say it too. Like we had a honeymoon phase after I left the military, because like we got that
Whole world's a honeymoon phase at that point, dude.
yeah,
You're
because it's like dude,
it's
you're like and I had all these big grandiose like ideas like, hey, I'm out of the military now. I can do what the fuck I want. I'm going to do this for the kids. Like we're doing this for ourselves. We're buying a mansion, stupid things, and she was, and she was right there next to me. She was like, yeah, we're doing great. And then within within a year, it was like,
yeah, nailed it.
just like that. Sorry, Nova.
Dog's like, what the hell, dude? I'm trying to take a nap.
But yeah, within a year, you just get hit in the face of just like what real world is like. So yeah, that's a great point. The reintegration phase as a married couple, it is that honeymoon phase, and then afterwards, it's that's when the reality sets in. Yep. What what would be your one tip of advice to any any young spouse, future spouse that's going to transition into the military right now? Like that young
Or
20-year-old.
better yet, transition out of the military.
Yeah, both. If you have one for each or one for overall, like, that young 25-year-old female or male that's finding out that their loved one is about to sign the dotted line. And on the other side, like that, that spouse is that's finding out like, okay, we're moving out of on-base housing and we're going to have to actually go like live civilian life. What would be your one big key advice to those individuals?
Communication. I'm serious.
Love it. I love it.
I will forever ever communication. If you have a question about anything at all, if it's running through your mind and you're like, I'm not comfortable with this, or what are we expecting? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, we're not planners. In our family, we don't plan. We don't. We will be like one day like, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, that's just what we do because that's what works for us. But we also still communicate, even if it's on the spot planning. That's what we do. But I would
adjusting fire.
I would communicate, because if you're not asking questions, if you're not being transparent or upfront, you're not going to know. You don't know if you don't ask. And I'm not afraid to ask. I'm not afraid to ask the questions. I'm not afraid to ask the questions that will hurt your feelings or upset you, because in the end, I have to sleep at night. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not sleeping good, then my mind doesn't settle. And if my mind doesn't settle, we're going to have problems. So I've just learned to just ask, just communicate, because like I said, if you don't ask, you don't know.
Because you're on that journey too. I mean, essentially you're on
Yeah,
that.
that's your shit too.
Yeah,
Like I said,
though,
you're the
even
new
though
platoon leader.
even though your spouse is the one taking the uniform off, like you're going. That's you're also taking that uniform off, essentially.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's like it's been said, it's a together process. It's not a me versus you. It's a together thing. It's a unity, it's communication, it's everything. And you just have to be open, don't beat around the bush. Just say what you have to say, and no matter what it is, it's okay to say you're not okay. And it doesn't matter, service related, not service, civil, it's okay to not be okay. And when more people understand that, we just, ourselves will just be so much more positive. You live such a more healthy life when you just understand, like, I'm not okay right now. Like, I have serious shit going on with me that is affecting me, and I need to figure that shit out, because I can't do anything for y'all right now.
Right. Yeah, because it
Not
starts to bleed
function
out
now
onto
because
everybody else, and
I don't know what's going
Yes.
on with me. I don't know what my triggers are. I don't know how I'm feeling. I can't justify right now how I'm feeling because my mind is so freaking crazy. Like, I can't do for me right now, so I can't do for you. So I have done a lot of trying to do for me so that I could do for 5 other people.
Yeah.
So
That's a great.
communicate what you need to do so that you can help do for everybody else, because you can't stop being a parent. Like, that's never going to go away. So the sooner you realize that if your shit's crazy, figure it out, channel it, and let's get in the right. Let's get to a place where we're all communicating and we're all on the same page.
hell yeah.
That's a great message, because that's exactly how, like, I mean, that's how Kyle kind of like hooked this entire project. Of just
Yeah.
like, it's this is what this space is for, and this is why, like, we're sending the bat signal out there to every veteran spouse, anyone who's ever been involved in the community of just military or mental health in general. It doesn't have to be. You don't have
First
to be.
responders also.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's
Like the bat signal is out there for everyone to know, like, hey, this is a space for you to be like, hey, it's okay to not be okay. And like, I love that Kyle said that, and it just like the fact that you said that too, just like we're doing the right thing here.
We are, and I often question that every day. I'm always texting Casey like, "Are we doing this right? Are we doing this right?" Like, we're just, and I think what it is, dude, and it's a part of that, just like that need to keep up when be like, "Oh, this guy's getting 1,000 downloads and we're not," and at the same time, it's like, I don't know, fuck their downloads. You know what I mean? Like, not at the same time, like, that's dope they're getting them, but like, we'll get them. People, like, this show is so just from our hearts and from our souls that there's no reason that's not just going to be able to spread the message farther and farther. I mean,
and you got to keep it
love it.
Got to keep it like from your heart, because when you lose sight of like doing it from passion to doing it for other people, because I mean, you guys are doing it for other people, but like doing it for the right reasons. Like, keep your hearts in it, keep being passionate about it, because I mean, without that, it's just going to drop off. Because
I mean, doing this helps me out too. I mean,
it's therapeutic.
It is huge.
You've got a certain amount of people that rely on this, that, in their week, in their day, they're like, okay, that's part of their day.
Yeah.
That's part of, after work, they know what they're doing, and you guys are part of what they do at the end of their day.
I might have got a job based off this podcast.
Yeah.
I got recognized at the park today in town.
Oh yeah.
and then we'll talk a little more about this going forward next week too. But I want to get more information. But her mom runs, it's called Quilts of Valor, I think. So it's a bigger program, but hers specifically is in the Red River area, which is Fargo, Moorhead. And what they do is they make quilts for veterans to honor them for their service. So basically all she was just like, hey, because I had my shirt on, she's like, are you the one that runs Veteran Chat Project? And I was like, well, as a matter of fact, I am. Oh, that's dope, dude. Justin's got one.
Shit.
So yeah, we're gonna be linking up with them to hopefully start sending them some nominations. That's all she wanted. She wanted us to help find nominations for people for them to make quilts. So
dope.
we'll
I got a list
for
of names.
sure. And then I mean, they even said like if you got people that want to make them, stuff like that, we can put together quilts. Like they could put together packages and then hand them out and then do like a class based on like, so wherever you are, like do a pickup of a package, because it has to be like specific, like one of the patterns, approved patterns or whatever. But
Right.
I think it's dope. And I think here specifically, I know my wife's really into quilts. She actually made me one for a wedding present.
Me too.
It's sick. On one side it's all Cardinals and the other side it's all St. Louis Blues. So I can see it.
That's awesome.
That's cool, dude.
Not this year, but no. Oh man. So yeah, dude, this turned out to be a pretty special episode to me. I think this one is gonna go down as one of my favorites of recent.
I was thinking that
That's
I was thinking that the whole time. This is probably one of my favorite conversations we've had so far.
And I hope they just continually get to be this and on a better and deeper level, even if that means like, fuck it, I'm gonna start peeling out my soul and showing it to everybody twice a week. Then that's what we'll do. But you know, as you can't always rely on guests to make the show, you know, and I think that's one thing we learned tonight is adjusting fire makes us better people.
Yes.
Makes us better at what we're doing here, because I mean, hell,
never know what might happen.
Never know what might happen.
Exactly. You might, go to get your driver's license one day or get your driver's license fixed one day, and then like they're closed and you look across the street, the court annex is open, you adjust fire and just marry the girl of your dreams right there. And then within like 10 minutes, your entire platoon is there.
Yep.
And your mom's like, you wore that white shirt on purpose. I feel like she's never let that go. Like, it's playing it, I promise. It was not.
Before this is an awesome conversation. Before we wrap up tonight, I just want to let everybody know, Kyle says it all the time. I say it all the time. You're not alone. If you want me to prove it to you, email me, veteranchatproject@gmail.com. Come have a conversation with us. Let me prove it to you that you're not alone. We talk about mental health. We talk about family. We talk about veteran-owned businesses. We shout out all those people going through the mental health struggle, because we all go through it in some way, some form. So reach out to us, veteranchatproject@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok with the same name. Kyle, you got anything?
I do not. You nailed it.
Awesome. Janelle, wife, thanks for coming on. Thanks for your message. I hope it helps. I know it'll help. And if any of you veteran spouses out there, military spouses out there, feel free to hit us up. Shout out.
Record views. We had 7 viewers right now. So just all 7 of you, just want you guys know that you are now the highest viewed episode in Veteran Chat Project history in the live platform. So
I'm gonna find out
so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out who y'all are. I'm gonna send you a picture of my nipple. I love you all.
Nipple pics. Love you guys.
All right.